So, hello everyone, good morning to all. Just confirm me once in the chat box that sir, my voice is audible so that we can start our discussion. Just confirm me once in the chat box that sir, my voice is audible on the Zoom and also on the YouTube platform. Chat box that sir, my voice is audible. Okay, thank you for the confirmation in the chat box. First of all, thank you for joining the session live in the morning, that is Sunday morning. You all are here to join the session on a very special, on a very important topic, because salary ITR and normal ITR has already been done. Now the time is related to the income tax return for the business income, and today we'll discuss business income and GST. Sir, biggest question is that what is the relation between ITR and GST and business income? Okay, so sir, there is a relation. A lot of things we are going to discuss in this particular session. Okay, so before moving ahead, I just wish to share 2 to 3 things with all of you. That sir, as certain participants has joined this session by taking this particular special session itself, that is the business income ITR. Also, there is a continuation of our subscription, that is Knowledge Saturday. Now we have converted the Knowledge Saturday into Knowledge Sunday. Those who have subscribed for the annual Knowledge Saturday session 5 to 6 p.m. Now the same is shifted to Knowledge Sunday morning 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. Okay, this will be around 45-minute session on every Sunday. Okay, for subscribers, and for those who have only joined this particular course, the time is already here for you. Okay, so all of you, welcome on this particular platform. Every Sunday 9:30 to 10:30 we have a very important topic and we'll discuss on that. Okay, just like today we have business income ITR, next session will be AI and tax audit, next session will be AI, tax audit and automation, and next session will be on the other laws, that when you are doing the practice in GST, then what will be impact of other laws and why we need to take care of the other laws, that will cover. So I have shared all the topics of this particular month. 49 rupees every session is there for the normal participants who are joining for the first time or who are joining the session itself only, and those are Knowledge Saturday participants. They know very well that they have to pay a single amount and annually they can watch every Sunday session. Okay, so let's start our discussion. I request 1 or 2 things to all of you. Sir, feel free, just sit on your chair with one tea or coffee so that we can enjoy the learning. Okay, इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेशन हम लोग बहुत कुछ रॉकेट साइंस नहीं पढ़ने वाले हैं, रॉकेट साइंस नहीं सीखने वाले हैं. I am just going to share with you the things which we need to keep in our mind while filing the income tax return from GST perspective. Okay, because from income tax perspective I am zero, from GST perspective I can guide you. Okay, so कई बार होता क्या है, client is coming with the data, that is trading P&L and financial statement, as the audit is not applicable for that particular client. So what we are doing, basically feed the trading P&L balance sheet in our software or on the income tax website, or directly put the income part and expenditure part and accordingly calculated the net profit and paying the tax on that. That is also okay, because one thought process is like that, that sir, my client is paying me just 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 rupees. Why I need to make so much efforts for my client? Okay, but second thought of school is that when my client is having faith on me, and when I am doing the work for my client, at least I need to verify the data, at least I need to cross check the data, so that I can provide my services in a very well manner, in a very best manner. For my satisfaction I have to check. और ये लीगेसी हम लोग आगे कंटिन्यू करेंगे. हमारे स्टाफ, हमारे टीम मेंबर, they can also learn these things and they can also utilize the things. So in this particular session I am going to share with you certain special point which will not take much more time, but we just need to keep in our mind from ITR GST perspective. Sir, are you ready for the discussion? Just let me know once in the chat box, are you ready for the discussion? Those who are watching the session live and those who will watch the session recorded version, I am asking the question from all of you. Are you ready? And I will not take much more time. We'll conclude the session in 40 to 45 minutes only, because I have a belief that we should be very much focused on the quality, not on the quantity. Okay, so that will cover. Okay, Siva sir, we'll use only English language in the session itself. There may be chances certain examples is in Hindi, but if you have any confusion, any doubt regarding Hindi language, you can ask the same. I will convert the same into English. Okay. Or knowledge Sunday session, you can easily go and check our website. Okay. The same is already live. We have 100+ registrations as well. Okay. But most probably hota kya hai, what happens that as the session is on Sunday morning, so people prefer to watch the recorded version, but I prefer that participants should be there in the live session. So let's start our discussion on the business income. Yes, you can easily check the same from our website, batoconsultancy.com. Okay. So our first discussion on the ITR from business income, the reason is only one: to check the data, to cross verify the data, to enhance and improve our quality. That is the purpose, to verify the ITR data with business income. Okay. Let's start my discussion. What is the prerequisite? What is the prerequisite for the tax audit, or I can say tax ITR, business income ITR from GST perspective? First, the taxpayer should be registered under GST. Reason being, if the turnover of the taxpayer is below 20 lakh rupees or 40 lakh rupees, in that case, no relevance of the verification of data from GST portal, because no data will be available on the GST and common portal. So first requisite is that the taxpayer should be registered under GST. As soon as you have received the financial statement from your client and you have checked that the turnover has already crossed the specific limit, then you have to ask for the GST login credentials. Because when you will ask for the GST login credentials, then you will able to get the data. And also, to file the return, you should ask for the system generated financial statement. Many times, as I am also belonging to Rajasthan, I know very well there are certain small clients, small taxpayers, they are not able to maintain the data, but at least we have to ask for the manually prepared financial statement or system generated financial statement for our return filing purposes. So these are the three things which we need to keep in our mind. If the taxpayer is registered under GST, GST login credentials, and we have to ask for the system generated financial statement. Now, business ITR key points. Sir, what are the key points I have? Just wait for a single second. Yes, we'll share the PPT with all of you. Okay. So now, sir, business ITR, certain key points which we need to keep in our mind. So my first key point is your sales. Because in the financial statement, the key highlighted point, the very special and important point is your sales only. So key points is my sales, is my purchase, is my expenditure, is my inventory, is my fixed assets and balance with the revenue authorities. So basically these are the data, these are the key points which we can check from the GSTN common portal. Sales you can easily verify, purchase you can easily verify, expenditure you can easily verify, inventory you can easily verify with the closing balance which is available on the GSTN common portal, and the fixed assets you can easily verify if purchased during the financial year, and the balances with the revenue authorities. These are the things which you can very easily verify from the GSTN common portal. Sir, as you have said that these things I can very easily verify from the GSTN common portal. Just wait for a single second. Today, many participants are facing certain technical issues. We are receiving calls again and again that they are not able to join the session. But what we'll do, we'll share the recording with all of them. Okay. So now let's start our discussion on the business ITR from key points. Yes, sales you can verify, purchase you can verify, expenditure you can verify, inventory you can verify, fixed assets you can verify, and balances with the revenue authorities you can easily verify. Now, your question is that, sir, how we can verify each and every line item? Just like one question is there in the chat box that how we can verify the inventory. That is also a concern. Okay, so that will discuss. Yes, exactly with the amount you will not be able to verify because the inventory figure is not there on your GSTN common portal, but prima facie you can verify the input tax credit closing balance so that it will give you indication that on that amount inventory is perfect. But yes, there will be effect of gross profit, there will be effect of net profit ratios, so we need to keep that point as well in our mind. Okay, in this session itself we'll discuss certain important points from the perspective of net profit and gross profit as well. Okay, so let's start our discussion on each and every line item in a very detailed way. Sir, sales verification. Now I am very humbly request each one of you that for sales we are feeling that sales means Extremely sorry. Actually, today we have a lot of disturbance in between the session, but now I will try that our session will be in a constant way. Sorry. Now, sir, sales verification. The first point. We have one thought process that sales means the sales which has been booked in the financial statement, and we are taking the same. At the same time, if we are filing the return in a professional way, we have to check the time of supply principles, because as per time of supply principles, there may be chances of sales which you are booking right now, the same is not related to the current financial year, or there may be chances of sales which you have not booked in your financial statement, the same is due to the time of supply is related to your particular financial year only. That means the current financial year only we need to keep in our mind. We have to check the time of supply principle from supply of services, supply of goods perspective, forward charge and reverse charge, so that the sales which we are going to book in the financial statement, that will be in a perfect way. Okay, in this particular session, I'm just going to give you an idea that how the things is going on, and you have to keep these points in your mind. Next, unbilled revenue. Sir, unbilled revenue, deferred income, contract revenue, these are the three very similar terms, and which will be very special, create a very special impact in case of construction contract related services, or specific services which can be defined as a continuous supply of services. There may be chances your client is into the construction services. In that case, there may be chances that person has received a certain amount, but year end you have to calculate what is the amount of work in progress, what is the amount which has been completed, for which you have to book the revenue. For the WIP, you are going to book the revenue in the current or next quarter. That means year end 31st March 2026, you have to book in April, May and June month. There may be chances you will book the revenue in case of WIP. So unbilled revenue, deferred income and contract revenue, these are the very special points which we need to keep in our mind. Because kai baar kya hota hai, client has no idea about the contract revenue, about the unbilled revenue. Due to that, client is just going to book the income based on the amount which has been received, or based on the invoices which has been raised, and the same has been given to us, and we are going to file the return based on the data provided by the client. It will create the issue in future. Definitely it will create the issue in future, because whenever there will be a scrutiny or assessment from department side, they will ask you all the documentation, and at that time, if there will be a difference in the booking on income in the financial statement, there will be a concern. So you need to keep this point in your mind from the perspective of unbilled revenue, advances and contract revenue. And this is the point which is very especially applicable in case of continuous supply of services. And yes, in case of advances received, as you are comparing the turnover from your GST and common portal. So there may be chances the client has paid the GST on account of advances in case of services, but the same is not here in the books of accounts. That is also again an important point which we need to keep in our mind. So these are the parameters which we need to check from the perspective of sales verification. Next. So sales verification is okay for you? Are you in view that these points are important for us? Just let me know once in the chat box, or YouTube or Zoom, and those who will watch the recorded videos, I just wish that you should comment. Sir, the sales verification point is okay for you? Although I am extremely sorry, those who will watch the recorded videos today, due to certain technical issues, many participants are not able to open the Zoom meeting due to certain password related issues. I don't know. This is the technical glitch at our end or at their end. But yes, there is an issue. So we'll provide you the recordings by today itself. You can watch it. If you have any query, any concern, you can connect with us. Sir, those who are live, I just request. Now, sir, purchase verification. Again, this purchase verification is important. Reason being, as we are booking the purchase in our financial statement and taking and calculating the gross profit, that purchase should reconcile with the GSTR-2B. We can easily verify the data. Now, there may be chances that, sir, the input which is reflected in GSTR-2B, purchase related data, the input which is reflected in the GSTR-2B purchase related data, the same will be from the registered person only. No, there may be certain purchases which is from unregistered person. How we can verify the same? Sir, here we are talking about the maximum coverage. Here we are talking from the perspective of maximum coverage, maximum cross verification of the data with the available resources. So this is the best thing. We can verify the purchases which has been made from the registered person. So at the same time, when we are checking the financial statement, we have to ask with our client that what is the quantum which you have purchased from the registered person and what is the quantum which you have purchased from the unregistered person, so that you can verify easily. And as your client is maintaining the data in the accounting software, the client can easily provide you the bifurcation of registered purchases and unregistered purchases. Okay, this is again an important point for all of us from the perspective of purchase verification, expenditure verification. And sir, you know, these points directly affects our gross profit and net profit. And the scrutiny and assessment, one of the very special and important para is your gross profit and net profit. कई बार होता क्या है, our focus is on tax audit, our focus is on major audits, our focus is on company audits, and due to that these small points we forgot to check in case of small business returns. And there will be a selection of case in the scrutiny or assessment, and there will be a concern, because in case of big clients the data is very properly maintained, but for small and medium sized client there may be chances that the data is not perfectly maintained. So at the same time, our responsibility is to check the data very carefully and file very carefully, so that no future litigation. That is my expenditure verification. Now sir, there may be chances your client has bought certain or taken certain services or made a certain expenditure from a registered person. So the same you can easily verify through GSTR-2B. And so, you know, each and every accounting software, mark my word, try to put these lines in your notebook, that sir, every accounting software has the capability to generate the purchase report headwise. When you will generate the purchase report headwise, you can easily verify the purchases, the expenditure, the other expenditure on which ITC is not allowed, so that you can check in the financial statement the expenditure is booked with taxable value and GST. So the invoice value should be booked as an expenditure in case when no ITC is allowed. So here your responsibility from the GSTR-2B is to check the purchases registered, the expenditure registered, and if on any expenditure ITC is not allowed, then we have to check that the particular expenditure has been booked taxable value and the GST amount, that is the invoice value, the same should be booked. That we need to take care. So here you are going to verify your purchase, you are going to verify your expenditure, and with the same time you are verifying that if the ITC is not allowed, the same is booked as an expenditure. Many times client has no idea, accountant is going to book the same in ITC, the person has forgot to transfer the same into ineligible ITC, or forgot to make it as a part of your cost. In that case, as a chartered accountant, as a tax consultant, you are providing the services, you are providing the expert advisory. Purchase verification, sales verification, expenditure verification. Inventory verification. Sir, as there were one question as well in our chat box regarding the inventory verification. Sir, the inventory verification is not like that you can easily verify each and every line item. But when I am talking from the perspective of inventory verification, that means you can easily verify the input tax credit closing balance which is there in your books of accounts and the ITC closing balance which is available on the GST and common portal, and it will give you a confirmation that the inventory which is booked in the books of accounts is somehow perfect. And also the ITC closing balance which is there on the GST and common portal, that means the same is available on your purchases only. Okay, so you just need to give the effect of gross profit and your figure will be perfect. Now sir, business hai, businessman is not going to share the exact gross profit, businessman is not going to share exact data with you. I agree with you, but the point is that as per the books of accounts and as per the GST and common portal, it should be relatively matched, so that it will give us an idea. ऐसा तो नहीं है उस particular input closing balance पे जब मैं GST की rate लगा के taxable value calculate कर रहा हूँ, and when I am going to check the closing stock which is there in books of accounts, there is a difference of day and night. That should not be there, because it will give a trigger for the businessman. So we need to keep these points in our mind from the perspective of inventory verification. Sir, are you getting my points now? Just let me know once in the chat box. This discussion will be useful for you now. Just let me know once that these discussion will be useful for you now, because I am taking very small points, but I am taking the practical perspective, and reason is only one, so that you can get an idea that कई बार जो चीज हमको पता है, we know very well that these are the things we need to follow, but due to oversight we forgot to follow the same, due to working load, due to burden. So this type of sessions will help you out that how you can follow these things, how you can recall these things. Fixed assets verification. Sir, fixed assets verification. How we can verify the fixed assets? So during the financial year, if your client has bought any fixed assets, you can easily check the same from the GSTR-2B, because the same is bought from the registered person only in 99% of the cases. So the GSTN will be there. So you can easily check and verify. You can easily check on this particular capital goods, on this particular fixed assets, whether ITC is allowed or not. If ITC is not allowed, then we have to take care that the depreciation should be claimed on the 100% of the value, that is invoice value. And the same has been booked in the books of accounts at invoice value. Many times what will happen? Accountant has no idea. Businessman has no idea. There may be chances. Due to that, the person is not going to claim the ITC. But the person has not added the same for calculation of depreciation. At that time, we have to enter in the role and we have to guide our client that yes, in this situation, you will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. We have keep the particular screen, the PDF file blank, the PPT blank. The reason is only one. Your focus should be on me, so that you can easily get the idea. Otherwise क्या होता है, अगर मैं इस PPT को कुछ content से feed कर दूंगा, in that case your focus will be on the content which has been written on the particular PPT. But I wish your focus should be on the deliberation, on the key points which we are going to discuss. But you can easily verify the same in your fixed asset, in your GSTR-2B party. You can easily identify from the financial statement, and or for the same party you can easily verify from GSTR-2B, so that you can easily verify the bill. That is what is the mechanism which we need to follow. Got my point, sir? Now, balances with the revenue authorities. Sir, it is again a very crucial point, and again a very important point regarding the balances with the revenue authorities. What happens when your client is maintaining, the books of accounts, client is going to make the entry for the purchases, client is going to make the entry for the sales, client is going to make the entries for the expenditure, and based on the set off of the expenditure income and the particular ITC balances, there will be a closing balance which will be there in your books of accounts. And on GSTN common portal, we have electronic credit ledger. So we can easily verify as on 31st March 2026, the closing balance which is there on GSTN common portal, the same should be there in my books of accounts. And if there is any deviation, because deviation may be possible, so we have to ask for the reconciliation, that why there is difference, and this is the amount of difference, whether you have claimed the ITC subsequent financial year, whether any sales related adjustments which you have made in the subsequent financial year, that we have to justify, that we have to identify balances with the revenue authorities. And sir, keep in your mind, if your reconciliation regarding the balances with the revenue authorities done, that means your sales is perfect, your purchase is perfect, everything is fine in your hand. That also we need to keep in our mind. That is balances with the revenue authorities. Okay. Now, one question was there, how we can verify the fixed assets purchase bill. Sir, in your books of accounts, when your client is booking that particular purchase of fixed assets, the client is going to book the invoice. So the party name will already be there in the invoice in the books of accounts. So you just need to verify the GSTN or the party name from whom the taxpayer has bought the goods, and verify the same is available in GSTR-2B. Then after, you have to identify the line item from the invoice. You have to check whether the ITC is allowed or not. If ITC is allowed, then it is completely okay. Client has claimed the same. If ITC is not allowed, in that case, we have to check whether the same has been added to the taxable value and calculated the invoice value, and depreciation has been claimed on the invoice value. That is our role and responsibility. Is that okay, sir? If your client is not maintaining the books of accounts, in that case, as you are checking the GSTR-2B, okay, in that case, there may be chances certain names are very identical. Certain names are very identical. You can easily identify. Suppose there is certain online seller whose name is there in GSTR-2B. So in that case, you have to identify. Suppose there is a line item of 50,000 rupees. Okay. So there will be a click that my client is dealing in the trading business. There will be a purchase related parties are constant and fixed. Okay. This is a unique. So you have to ask with your client, you have bought something from this particular person. Then your client will said you that this is the machinery which I have bought, this is the AC which I have bought, this is the washing machine which I have purchased from the dealer. Is that okay, sir? Shiva sir, now it is okay? Okay, sir, thank you. Because when the client is not maintaining the books of accounts, so we have only one way to ask the questions. Okay, now, next. Important reconciliations. Yes, we are not doing the tax audit. We are merely doing the tax return, the business ITR, but certain important reconciliations which we need to keep in our mind. First one is GSTR-1 and 3B. We need to be ready. We need to check our GSTR-1 and 3B, the sales data, the purchase data, so that we can easily verify the same with our books of accounts. Because our next reconciliation is GSTR-3B and books. If your client is maintaining the accounting data, in that case, you have to ask for the tally data, or you have to ask for the system generated financial statement, or many times client is providing the financial statement handmade. But client is also maintaining the financial statement in the system. So we have to cross verify the sales, the purchase which has been mentioned in the system generated financial statement, and the purchase or sales which is there in the manual statements which we are providing. And when we are preparing the ITR, we just need to confirm that the financial statement, sales, purchase are same in our ITR as well. These are the important reconciliations which we need to keep in our mind. Conclusively, if I wish to shape books of accounts, GSTR-1, GSTR-3B, and the data which you are reflecting in your ITR, all these 4 parameters should be same. So your reconciliation work done. Important reconciliations. Now, important verifications which we need to keep in our mind. कई बार होता क्या है, client is providing the data, we have to check the same, we have checked the same and filing the return. But there are certain other data, other checkpoints which we need to check from the GST and common portal. So our filing will be in a very perfect way. Number one, you have to check the principal place of business which is there on GST and common portal. The same is mentioned on the income tax data as well. Otherwise, in case of scrutiny or assessment, if the address is differ, departmental authority may impose you the penalty, income tax as well as GST. So we have to verify, we have to check this particular thing very carefully, place of business. Bank account details, we have to cross verify the bank account detail which is there on GST and common portal with the income tax data. अभी हमको ऐसा लगता है why these points are very much relevant, why these points we have to check. But sir, whenever there will be a litigation, whenever there will be a notice, we need to be very much careful, because these plays a very important role. Authorized signatory should be same. The person who is going to sign the income tax return on the income tax portal digitally signed, or Aadhaar verification in case of partnership form, we have to check that the same person is here on the GST and common portal. Yes, there may be differences. You may authorize a different person for GST, you may authorize for a different person for income tax, but at least we have to ask. From presentation perspective as well, when you will ask these questions, these concerns with your client, client will as in view that yes, you are doing something. You are maintaining the integrity. You are checking the data very carefully, hence you are asking, and it will give raise to your fees as well. Otherwise, abhi client क्या सोचता है, यार I have provided the data, I have prepared the financial statement, I have submitted to Mr. Sachin, and Mr. Sachin is just going to cut, copy and paste the data and filing the return. What is the role of Mr. Sachin? So this is again an important point which we need to keep in our mind. Next, additional place must be added. We have to check that the additional place is there on GST and common portal. The same must be reflected on the income tax portal as well. GST turnover, as we are filing the business return, business ITR. So we have to keep in our mind that the GST turnover we have to mention with the GST number, and the turnover which we are going to reflect, the turnover which we are going to reflect should be same with the GST and common portal data. There should not be any difference. Goods and services must be verified. On income tax, you are putting the financial statement, the line item which you are mentioning in the sales, You have to check whether the same SSE or HSN code has been mentioned on the GSTN common portal or not. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है, there are certain HSN SSE code which you are dealing, you are booking the sales in the financial statement, you are providing the same on income tax portal, but the HSN and SSE code is not added on the GSTN common portal, it will be a concern. Because as we all know that the income tax and GST portal is entirely linked. When both the things are entirely linked, so this is our responsibility to maintain the data in a very well manner. We have to very especially check the gross profit, net profit, and the closing stock. Many times we forgot to check the gross profit and net profit. This will lead to a future notice. So we should check the gross profit, net profit, and the stock very carefully, whether all these things are in line. Because hota kya hai, client is saying, I have to maintain this gross profit, or I have to pay this amount of tax. Accordingly, set the closing stock. But we have to check whether the closing stock which we are putting is in line with the purchase, sales, and gross profit. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं हो रहा इस बिजनेस के नेचर में वो क्लोजिंग स्टॉक और वो ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट सस्टेन ही नहीं करता है. दैट ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट, दैट GP ratio is not sustainable in the nature of specific business. That point we have to keep in our mind. So these are certain special points which we need to check. Sir, in this particular session, we have covered business ITR from GST perspective. What are the data that we have to check? Sales, purchase, expenditure, fixed assets, closing balances, balances with the revenue authorities. These are the things we have to verify. How we can verify that also we have covered. What are the important reconciliation? That also we have done. What are the other parameters which we have to check from the GST and common portal while filing the ITR? Now, sir, if I will not check this particular data, then what will happen? Because if I have idea about the consequences of non following a specific parameter, then only I will follow the same in a very well manner. Otherwise, नहीं follow करूंगा तो क्या हो जाएगा? That will be a concern. क्या हो जाएगा? That we are going to discuss. Future notices will be there, because as we all know that the GST and income tax portal is completely linked, so there may be chances of future notices in case of mismatch of data. Incorrect analysis of gross profit and net profit, because due to gross profit and net profit, departmental authority may identify, highlight your fake purchasing. Okay, wrong reporting of data, as we may also wrong reporting of data. There may be chances if you forgot to report the place of business. In the income tax portal, there is a mismatch between the place of business, and GST portal, there is a mismatch between the place of business. There will be a future notice and penalty can be imposed by the departmental authority. These are the important things which may happen in future. Okay, sir, yes, there is multiple line items, but on GST and common portal, we can put only 5 items. Yes, but those 5 items which you are putting on the GST and common portal, that should play the major area, that should cover the major area of your business. Suppose suppose you have 10 to 15 products, 5 products may be there which are the integral part of your business. हो सकता है 10 की सबकी sale हो रही है, there is a sales of all the 10 line items in a equal amount, but 5 may be integral part of your business. Then you have to put the HSN code of that 5 integral part, so that we can argue in future that yes, we have mentioned the 5 GSTN very perfectly. These are the things we have to keep in our mind. Is that okay, Shiva sir? Now, sir, in this particular session, we have done our discussion. I am just going to take a recap in next 5 minutes. जब मैं recap ले रहा हूं, I request each one of you, you have a QR code. You just need to scan the QR code and try to provide your reviews about our today's session on the Google review page of us in 2 to 3 lines. This is the biggest gift from your side to me. Okay, I request each one of you just provide your valuable feedback, those who are watching the recorded videos as well. And extremely sorry for today's destruction in between the session due to certain technical issue. We have faced something. Okay, so in this particular session, we have covered the business income and ITR and GST perspective. What are the things we have to verify? We have to check the sales data from GST and common portal, purchase data, expenditure data. We have to check the fixed assets, any purchase during the financial year. We have to check the closing balance, the balances with the revenue authorities. We have to verify that if there is any sale of fixed assets, then also the same is booked in the financial statement. That also we have to verify. Okay, we also need to verify that, sir, other point like principal place of business, additional place of business, bank account related details, and we have to go for certain reconciliations, and all these things plays a very important role, because yes, the turnover is 40 lakh, 50 lakh, 60 lakh, 1 CR and audit is not applicable, but the data from GST portal is already reflected on the income tax portal. So we should be very much careful from that perspective. I hope you all have enjoyed the session. You all have learning the sessions. On next Sunday, again, we have a session from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. on a specific topic. 45 minutes, you will get the link as well. Try to enroll the same. Sir, how it was, you may comment in the chat box. How was the session? Those who are joining the live session on YouTube as well as on the Zoom platform. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining the live session. We'll meet you soon. And yes, if you have any query, any concern, any doubt, feel free to connect with us. Thank you once again. Bye-bye. Take care.